I'm doing quite well. I'm ready for some Counter-Strike action tonight. We got the Canadian All-Stars and maybe some other Canadian All-Stars and Mobility Gaming going head-to-head on DE Nuke. What do you think of this match so far? Who do you think is going to pull out in this one, Ken?
It's pretty interesting because they're both neck and neck in Premier right now. Same record. Both really interesting lineups. Mobility obviously doing well. Qualified for USWC in Paris. But Canadian All-Stars full of interesting talent, so we'll see how it's going to go down. And with that, we'll do a roster rundown. For Canadian All-Stars, we have Peasemuffin, Buzza, Bashi, Shuda, and Troy Boy. On Mobility Gaming, we have Stanislaw, Sidoff, Zek, Davey, and Strider.
And it looks like we're going to have a ramp coming out here for our T-sided team, which is going to be Mobility Gaming. They're going to get the first kill. Stanislaw is going to pick up Buzza. Troy Boy already dropping down the low to try and pick another one up. Davey's going to get him in return. Two players are going to be rotating out of heaven for the Canadian All-Stars. And that's going to leave PZ Muffin lurking ramp as there's still 5 players up for Mobility. As they're down the side, Bashi does pick up one in return. They are going to fight on ramp. Sidoff's going to pick up that guy at ramp, which is going to be PZ Muffin. But Bashi gets his second, and then Shooter goes down. So it's all on Bashi. Gets another one. So now he's down onto a one-on-one after picking up another. So Bashi all by himself. He's got one player to deal with, but that player's going to be in clutch. Can he get the kill? He takes some damage on him. He can't pick it up 1 HP, and he doesn't get it. And that first round is going to go in favor of Mobility Gaming.
I mean, if you're going to have the team name All-Stars, you might as well try and play like them. Bashi almost going huge there on pistol. The key breakdown, though, for All-Stars that round was that Buzza and Troy Boy overcommitted on the execute. Generally speaking, you're going to probably want to be better at falling off when you're facing multiple men running at you on pistol. Because your life is a lot more important than ramp control in Buzza's instance, and Troy Boy just really needs to control the flow into lower, not necessarily contest everything. Losing 2 guys that early ultimately cost them the round, even though Bashi went huge.
Yes, indeed. As it is going to be a standard kind of anti-eco here for our T-sided Mobility Gaming. They're just going to be hanging out, not letting them get themselves get pushed as Canadian All-Stars are just kind of hold across the map. So kind of a default against an anti-eco setup. And it's going to be 1 player lurking, 2 players outside. 1 player is going to be up on the rafters. That player is going to be Bashi, who is going to be coming in with a deagle after getting those 4 big kills last round. And it looks like 1 player is going to be taking some fire inside. Excuse me, that's going to be Shoes. Bashi picks up the 1 dig on Davey. So already good eco so far. They've gotten 1 kill in their favor. They are going to be kind of pushing towards ramp here for Mobility Gaming. They are going to run into a player around the corner here in about a second. He doesn't pick the corner, but Buzza does get both of them after Troy Boy goes down. So good anti-eco so far. Sidoff and Strider are going to be the last 2 left up for Mobility Gaming. They do have the bomb in hand. And it looks like Sidoff's going to work back down into lobby with his teammate Strider over by ramp, trying to figure out where Buzza is. I'm pretty sure he knows he's over in that corner still. He's going to get in a fight with a guy by Hell. He's going to come around the corner. Can he pick up Hell? Bashi lands another 1 dig. Sidoff does get him, but Buzza comes in with the trade, and that's going to be an eco round for the Canadian All-Stars.
Yeah, and it's really easy to credit Canadian All-Stars for winning that round. Obviously, you just praise the fact that they played decent angles and got good kills, but the key really is that, and a lot of teams tend to run into this, is that Mobility Gaming essentially got spooked after Davey went down outside. They essentially immediately tightened up and just lost all focus on trying to get an execute together. So they sent 2 guys to die alone at ramp, essentially, without even an attempt at a trade. And Canadians capitalized on Canadians, as it turns out. We're going to see 2 MAC-10s for Mobility right now, so this is probably going to be an interesting round.
Yeah, it is a interesting buy. The fully bought up, except for PZ Muffin, with the Deagle CT side against 2 MAC-10s, a CZ, and 2 AKs for Mobility. They are going to be working a little bit of a slow strat right now. Got a couple players hanging out in lobby. 1 player holding that ramp push. They got a player up on Twinkie, as well as another player. Where's our last player? He's going to be up at T-Red. And they're going to be kind of going into a default hold against the Canadian All-Stars. 1 player's going to be over by Big. That is going to be your number 1 player, PZ Muffin, with his Deagle, trying to maybe pick up Deagle. As a little bit of damage has come in already, dropping 2 players from Mobility Gaming down to 75 health. Losing 25 and 24 on 2 different players, which are going to be Davey and Zep. As it looks like it's going to be a work towards ramp, as Buzza does get the first kill. Can he get a second one? As that player's going to go down in hell after he does get his second trade. So he's got 2 for 1 so far, giving his team the advantage, but Troy Boy all the way down to 3 HP. And Shooter's going to go down in a window, and that's going to allow Mobility to get into the bottom of the site. Troy Boy does pick up 1 before losing his life to Davey. The bomb is going to go down with a smoke. As Bashi does pick up another one, leaving Davey to himself, and he's going to get taken down, trying to get out of the smoke, and that's going to be a round going in favor of Canadian All-Stars, and it is going to be 2-1.
And that was good work by individual players of Canadian All-Stars, sort of delaying the ramp take as best they could. It's not necessarily the perfect team play that won them the round, but just solid individual efforts and really well-timed peaks by Canadians that managed to win it. Buzza just cutting them down as they entered the ramp. Troy Boy falling off and playing patiently enough, not over-peaking, 3 guys running at him with low health and managing to get another. And Bashi just managing to put up yet another 2 kills. 3 rounds in, he almost has a 3.0 FPR. The early buy didn't really work out, or the retaliatory buy from MG really didn't work out, but we're going to see an eco here with a buy round to follow.
Let's see what they're going to be doing. Looks like they're going to be kind of going for a heavy outside. One player's going to be ramp with the bomb, as a lot of the players looking towards outside for MG. They are going to spot one player going over to big. That's going to be PZ Muffin. He has an op, so they're probably not going to want to challenge him anytime soon, as they are going to throw one smoke over for big and smoke it off. The smokes are going to come raining down outside, and it is going to be 2 players pushing around outside over towards that mini area. They're going to run into another player, which is going to be Shooter by Garage. Shooter's going to turn around just at the wrong time, and Davey's going to pick him up as he comes up behind. Davey gets a second one. It is going to be an upper take, and Stanislaw is going to pick up PZ Muffin in the Garage, and it's going to leave Buzza and Troy Boy with it all to do on this round, but Buzza and Troy Boy do reply. Stanislaw picks up Buzza, though, and Davey, getting his 3rd kill of the round, is going to pick up Troy Boy.
And right there is sort of the reason why you tend to see certain teams avoid using an op on outside, because at certain moments you essentially forfeit the ability to adequately deal with different types of pressure on outer. You notice Peasmuffin was in a good position to get the outer cross, but they smoked out perfectly to take into mini. Shuda, assuming that Peasmuffin probably had his mini covered, spammed away and just fell off sort of lazily, and it essentially cost them the round, as they had instant access to mini, and the guy upper was not ready to instantaneously react to just suddenly getting shot in the side of the head. I believe it was Bashi. So it was a really good eco by Mobility, exploiting a chink in Canadian All-Stars defense that, they just figured out a matter of rounds in.
And we are going to see an eco round. We got a Deagle, 157, a P250, a USP, and a CZ against 3 AKs, an M4A1, and Zach chiming in with that last weapon there, which is going to be an op on PZ Muffin, as it is going to be an all-outer take for Mobility Gaming. They're going to be going down lower. Strider is leading the way down there. Let's see if he's going to contest or find anybody downstairs at this point. He does have a player on stairs, and he's going to pick up, and it's Shooter getting one before he goes down. He's going to take out Davey, but Strider able to trade with that Silence M4. They do have one player with that USP behind Toxic. He's going to get shot up a little bit. Hasn't died yet. Troy Boy gets one as Bashi goes down. So now it's Buzza and Troy Boy trying to work it. Buzza, gets another one. Troy Boy gets another one. It's all on Stanislaw. Last one left up. He's got an AK in hand. He's going to be coming down by the doors, by the little stairwell there. The bomb is down in sight, and he's got 25 seconds to figure out what he's going to do. Can he pick up this round? He is going to see the one guy at ramp. He's going to get tagged up a little bit. That guy at ramp still challenging him as he works out into sight. He does get the bomb. The guy at ramp still peeking him. He's going to try and go for the plant. He does fake it. He does have one player. He's going to take the player down at ramp. He grabs back around. He can't pick up the kill. Let's see what he does with the plant. He's trying to get it down. He's getting a shot at it. He's just going to go for it, not falling for the fake spray. He's got one player to deal with him. Ben, and he's going to take him out. Troy Boy goes down, and that's going to be Stanislaw clutching that one, making it 3-2.
What was almost a brutal piecemeal execute on the lower bomb site was saved miraculously by Stanislaw. It was kind of an ugly 1v2 because as you see the timer running down, you just kind of have to know he's going to be going for the plan. You have to make a play on it, especially when you're limited in sort of the equipment you have with you in vents. It was a good play by Stanislaw, but sort of really around just completely pitched to the wind by the players of Canadian All-Stars. We're going to see our second full gun round for both teams this half, as they just seem to be trading rounds and trading body blows at this point.
And this round, or this time, it is going to be opted not to go with the op on PZ Muffin outside. He may not have had the money, and it doesn't look like he did. He had about 1,000 left over, but he is going to stick with the M4 outside. As there's going to be a couple smokes outside, you're going to have 2 players working for it, which are going to be Davey and his fellow teammate over there, which is going to be Stanislaw. He's got the rest of the team hanging out by lobby. As there they go, going through mini. They're going to do their mini upper split again. As PZ Muffin does get Davey, though, for his kill of the round. Strider does return on PZ Muffin. Bashi trades, though. Shooter gets another one, and Shooter also gets Stanislaw, leaving it all up to sit-off. He's going to get one in return, and he's going to go down right after that to Buzza. So big round from Buzza. Good play outside from PZ Muffin, and Shooter picking up those 2 plays in upper, or kills in upper.
Right, the Canadian All-Stars are still balanced on the knife's edge. They lost a bunch of players that may prove brutal right now, as we see PZ Muffin picking up another op. It was just, yeah, it was, as you just said, it was a perfect flank from Peas Muffin, and essentially it threw off the entire balance of the strat because the guys in mini were the ones who were supposed to make first contact at upper. And when you leave the guy in hut to get the first pick in the round, it sort of sells everything out to the other two guys on floor saying, okay, we now know they're going to be running right at us, and it basically sold the strat out perfectly. So great play by Peas Muffin. And an eco for MG.
They are going to have an eco, and they are going to have two smokes. One has already been thrown, which was Stan's Law. Davey does have two flashes, as well as one flash on Stan. As Stan is going to be going it alone outside with his CZ in hand. The rest of his team is hanging out by the lobby area, and they're going to get nade stacked down, and that's going to be 78 on Davey and Zek, and Strider getting hit to 85. But this is a pistol armor buy, so maybe they are trying to look at pressuring something. They do have money, though. They will have money after this round. Win or lose, but it looks like they're trying to force the idea of this eco going in their favor, as the Canadian Allstars are just going to keep ramp smoked off, as Stanislaw has found his way all the way over to Big Garage with no contest. He is going to run to a player in upper. He is going to tag him up, though. He's not going to get the kill. He does tag that player up, which was Buzza, all the way down to 32 health, as PZ Muffin picks up the first. He's going to go down in Turnpike and lose his op, so that's not going to vote well for the Canadian All-Stars as they begin to work ramp, as Bashi picks up Stanislaw, now evening it back up, or putting it back in favor of our CT-sided Canadian All-Stars. Troy Boy picks up one, Shooter picks up another, and Zek does trade, though, with that CZ. Last one left up. He does have the op in a 1v3 situation. 15 seconds to figure out what he wants to do. It's probably, I'm going to say he's probably going to go for the save, or at least attempt to save. But he does have a player closing in on him. That's going to be Buzz, and Buzz is going to pick up the kill, remaining with 6 HP, and it's going to be 4-3 in favor of Canadian All-Stars.
And, you know, although they won the round, there's hints of something slightly more insidious there for Canadian All-Stars that they should really be on the lookout for, and that's just poor communication. There's absolutely no reason Peas Muffin should have been left in the dark, that ramp was being taken as Troy Boy fell down, and there's absolutely no reason he should have been essentially shot in the back with op in hand. Those sort of communication miscues, while, you know, essentially harmless right there, could prove fatal later on in this half.
Unfortunately, Zek wasn't able to save that off last round, so he's not going to have it to work this time. He is going to have an AK. And it looks like they're going to kind of do a 4-outer. One player's going to be holding ramp as PZ Muffin gets the first pick of the round, and that's going to be Zek going down, dropping that AK outside. The bomb is already pushed well beyond the smoke cross down towards the secret stairs, as Davey's going to pick up PZ Muffin with a great AK from over by T-Red, as Mobility Gaming looks to try and work down into secret. They're probably going to run into a player down here eventually if Canadian All-Stars have rotated, but it doesn't look like they have a person down there yet. They have 2 players in upper, 1 player working ramp, which is going to be Troy Boy, and then that other player is going to be in vents, which is Shooter. So then Shooter has rotated, giving him an opportunity to defend this lower bomb zone. As Troy Boy is going to pick up one, which is going to be Stan's Law. And it looks like Shooter's going to find one in vent, which is going to be Strider, leaving Davey and Sidoff with it all to do to try and pick up this round for Mobility Gaming. As Davey is working the back of vents, and Sidoff is all the way over in control. So let's see what Davey can do, see if he can find that player. He is going to find Shooter, so now they are going to have a chance to try and plant the bomb, as there is no one in the general vicinity right now to defend. 1 player on ramp, that's Troy Boy. He goes down, but Bashi immediately takes out Davey in return, and Bashi picks up the second kill, taking the defuse as well, and taking that round for the Canadian All-Stars to make it 5-3.
Yeah, Canadian All-Stars are winning rounds. They're not winning them easily, though. They seem to enjoy losing a lot of members as they win rounds. What we saw there, as you were calling it, was MG was essentially stunned that there was no one really there to contest them lower, as they essentially crept down back hall after, you know, the initial 1-for-1 trade between Peas Muffin and Davey. They were kind of stunned that no one was down there. They easily had an open bomb site because Troy Boy couldn't fall down because he still had to cover ramp, and Buzza, who ostensibly should have been rotated out or covering what Troy Boy was covering, was fiddling around with the op, just watching a mini cross. It was confusing. It was not necessarily the sexiest rotations you've ever seen in Counter-Strike. It worked out, but, you know, MG sort of needs to recognize now that the team that they're playing may or may not be the best example of strong teamwork and communication. They need to start recognizing now, if they want to win more rounds in this half, that they can sort of get away with a few things that normally wouldn't be available to them.
And it did trick them when Shooter was a late retake, or oh my goodness, my words, a late. If one player's going to go down a ramp, that's me. Try to pick up the kill on Troy Boy, but a late rotate from Shooter was what really won the round. As Zek's going to take down Shooter on the quick rotate this round, so they've already got a 2-player advantage just moments into their ramp take. If they're going to rotate back and up, Bosch is going to find one, Bosch is going to find two. Can he find the third? No, he's not going to find Davey. Davey's going to take him down, but he does kind of put it back in his team's favor after a very poorly played eco to this point. It's going to be PZ Muffin and Buzza, last two left up, both holding upper. So if Mobility Gaming go back to lower, it is theirs for the taking, but it looks like they're going to come out hot, and they are going to run into PZ Muffin, who's going to pick up one, taking out Davey. Stanislaw does get Buzza, though, and Stanislaw gets PZ Muffin as well. So great play from Stanislaw, picking up those two players in lobby, and a great eco from Mobility Gaming.
Right, and it's an eco that'll probably force Canadian Allstars, even though they've won the past 2 rounds, onto an eco of their own. Basically, the round broke down because Canadian Allstars elected to play more individual styles of, or they play a little more in isolation than they should have. Troy Boy essentially got caught out alone on an island behind a smoke at ramp that, was pretty much what lost them pistol round as well, when they just had one player essentially trying to contest against a large body in a position he really shouldn't have been. It's rough in those streets, but we're going to see an eco coming in.
And it is going to be 3 Deagles and 2 5.7s as a lot of fire coming on PZ Muffin outside. He's got 5 HP, trying to take that guy on Twinkie down. He's not going to get. Davey takes him down. Zek is hurt pretty bad, though, and Davey, he got one hit onto Davey, so Davey's a little low. As there's going to be one player, and Secret Strider's just going to flick over and take him out. Shooter was not able to pick up a kill on him. Stanislaw is going to take out Troy Boy, and this eco is not going to go in favor of our Canadian All-Stars unless Buzza and Boshi have something to say about it. And at this point, it doesn't look likely, especially now that Boshi's down. So Buzza by himself with the Deagle. See if he can pick up one. He does pick up the guy that was tagged 3 seconds. He picks up a second one, but he's not going to pick up any more than that as Davey shuts the door, quite literally, in his face.
And we're still going to see 2 players on Canadian All-Stars with under $4,000. So they're going to have to go for a force here because you've given up 5 rounds on CT. There's no way forward but winning out this half to have a real chance on T side, barring some sort of, wonderkin performance with some next generational T strats. They really need to sort of start coordinating slightly better. What's killing Canadian All-Stars right now is less like a lack of ability, more a lack of communication, a lack of proper communication. They need to coordinate better about holding each other's backs, or covering each other's backs, and more effectively playing angles together, as opposed to just sort of dying alone in isolation.
Yeah, absolutely. They're giving way too much of an advantage playing by themselves, and like you said last round, putting themselves on an island and not allowing themselves to even trade those kills. A few of the rounds that they have won, they have done that, but they need to be doing it more frequently, as it is going to be a mini and upper take. Davey gets the first kill on Bosch. Shooter does return. Shooter gets a second before going down to Davey for his second kill. They're going to have a player in heaven, and that's me, Troy Boy, picking up one. Let's see what he can do as the bomb's going to go down from Davey, and it's going to be Stanislaw and Davey against PZ Muffin. Buzza, no PZ Muffin this time, but Buzza is going to get one, and Troy Boy is going to get the second, and Canadian All-Stars are going to get the defuse, and make it 6-5, trying to call their way back into a bigger advantage here.
Yeah, no, it was basically right as the doctor prescribed if I had managed to grab a medical degree somewhere. On the retake, they decided to actually retake it together and play angles together. While they lost the initial push, it wasn't that brutal. Both guys retook mini and were essentially peeking together at the same time. That was basically the one thing that turned them around right into Canadian All-Stars' favor. They absolutely will be crushed. Honestly, a round win is crucial, in a very stupid sense for Canadian All-Stars. It's fairly obvious they have to win this round. But losing 3 people right now would be pretty brutal for their economy. It's just not sustainable for them to keep losing 3 people and then win the round because they've been doing it all half and they just have not built up any money as a result.
They're at the point where any round loss is just going to be brutal to them, and in any round where they lose, like you said, a lot of people, it's going to be brutal to them. It looks like they're going to be trying to work it outside. They got 1 player up on the Twinkie, 3 players on the ground outside, and they got 1 player kind of holding lobby. They aren't going to run into really any sort of a challenge outside. They got 1 player in heaven to deal with this. 1 player already jumped down into mini, kind of ran back out there, so he's not exactly in mini. Those players are going to rotate towards secret, and that 1 player is going to be fighting up in heaven. All 3 players are going to try and aim map PZ Muffin. PZ Muffin gets the better of 1. Shooter gets another one. But PZ Muffin and Zek, or not PZ Muffin and Zek, but PZ Muffin dies to Zek, and Bashi also goes down. leaving it in a 3-on-3 situation. It's going to be Shooter holding the floor. He's not going to really find anything. And Stanislaw is just holding in lobby, trying to get to the mini, or not mini, but the hut, as it might be a mini upper take, as Stanislaw's going to get all the way down to 2 HP. And he's going to have to deal with that for the rest of the round. Here comes Zek in and Strider as they're going to trade, and there goes 2 kills, leaving Troy Boy, oh my goodness, my words are just all over the place this round. But Troy Boy by himself with 74 HP. It's doable, but it looks like he's just going to save and not go for it. And it's going to be really brutal next round for our Canadian All-Stars right now, with literally no money on Bashi, and Buzz has only got $250, and Shooter right above him with 350. So this is going to be a real difficult round, a real difficult 13th round for him.
Oh yeah, no, I think the best thing for Canadian All-Stars right now would be distributing some scratch-offs with whatever money they have left in the hopes of actually managing to find some. It's really, really rough right now, and again, it's just essentially dying in isolation to rather coordinated MG takes. As much as I want to bash on Canadian All-Stars' lack of apparent team play, MG's been doing a ridiculously good job of coordinating takes together. This steady hand, I imagine, of Stanislaw guiding them to that nice upper pinch where they essentially caught Shuda and Buzza in individual one-ons on holding the site. And it's running roughshod over Canadian All-Stars right now. 6 rounds on T side of Nuke is, stupendous. It's wonderful.
It's absolutely going to make it extremely easy if they play up to par on their CT side for them to take this one. As Buzz is going to get one with his CZ and be able to pick up an AK. Shooter goes down, and so does PC Muffin to Stanislaw and Zek. So immediately they lose the man advantage, and they go down a man. As Buzz is he's trying to put this thing back in his team's favor as he gets Strider outside. And that's going to be 3 versus 3 now. Buzza unfortunately does not have any armor, as Troy Boy, the only person with armor, is all the way down to 17 HP. And that's just not gonna help him, as he's all the way up in heaven. So very possible that he could get naded here, and that would just be the end for him, as his teammates are still sitting at 100. Bashi holding lower, Buzza holding squeaky, and Troy Boy just hanging out in heaven. As it looks like we're gonna kind of have a sneak over to hell. And they're going to run into Troy Boy, and if they do the stack, Troy Boy's surely going to be in a lot of troubles. That's what it looks like they're going to do. They're going to get one player up there. They did make a little noise, so maybe Troy Boy knows what's coming. Davey is going to be up there. He's going to be able to get the peek, and let's see what happens. Another player is going to be coming in, and they're going to be stacking up and getting over the railing. But Troy Boy is going to get found by Davey, and now the last player's being up, or Buzz is going to get one, taking Davey out. Bashi gets another one on Stanislaw, so now it's all going to be on Zek. And they pull off this round, and Buzza connects with his 4th kill of the round, and that's going to be another round for Canadian All-Stars, making it 7-6.
And that was a brilliant round coming in by Buzza. As much as I want to criticize their team play, the individual talent on Canadian All-Stars is actually, something worth mentioning, and it's impressive. Buzza managed to open up the round by getting sit-off, getting a little too aggro on floor. I'm not sure if he's supposed to sneak down vents or what the exact design of that play was, but he wound up with a free rifle, and it essentially turned the round around thereafter. Troy Boy sort of got caught watching 2 spots at the same time, which is a position you do not want to be stuck in, but Bashi and Buzza were both able to take out the rest of the round by just slightly coordinating, timely pushes and letting their individual talent play up as best they can.
Yeah, and they really need to connect on these last 2 rounds if they want a chance to take this round or this match home for the Canadian All-Stars, for their team, for their country, against their fellow countrymen. But it looks like it's going to be an outer take for mobility game. They're going to have one player contesting them, and that's going to be Bashi up top. He's going to get 2. One player is going to be in garage spamming through the smoke, which is what distracted those 2 players that Bashi was able to pick up. Shooter gets another one. Buzza gets a 3rd or 4th on the round, leaving it all to sit off. He's going to get 1. He's going to get the crap shot out of him in HUD, and he's going to be all the way down to 14 HP. He's trying to throw a nade. PZ Muffin comes barreling in and takes him out with a pistol to make it 8-6, and now Canadian All-Stars is in a good spot to get this last round of the half.
Yeah, no, everyone on MG is, I believe, under $3,000 in their pocket, so it's, going to be sort of an uphill battle to try and claw this round out. Again, but there we saw one of the few displays of Canadian All-Stars sort of singling out a round where they say they're going to work together. Bashi says he's going to support from railing outside, and PZ Muffin's going to do the initial engage by spraying. I'm not sure if that was exactly the plan, but it worked out that way, so take credit even if you might not have thought it was going to work out that way. MG, though, they have to be happy with this half so far. I don't think there's any way they would be disappointed in only having 6 rounds at this point.
Yeah, absolutely a great half. Peasy Muffin's going to pick up 1, can he pick up 2, can he pick up 3, picks up 3. 3 huge frags outside, but Sidoff immediately returns with 2 of his own. That was a great spray down. Buzza's going to pick up 1. He's got 1 more player to deal with outside. That's going to be Davey. He's going to take down Buzza. So now it's Davey in a 2v3, or 2v1, and he's going to get taken down by Boshi from Raptor. So huge round from Peasy Muffin outside. Connects with the first 2, and then gets that last bullet spray down on the last guy there to take those 3 players down and just destroy that round outside from Ability Gaming.
Yeah, no, we saw Canadian All-Stars. Woo, tongue twister. We saw Canadian All-Stars sort of come to life in the final few rounds of that half, and
if they were able to connect that a little earlier, they would have had a lot more going from it. They weren't, like you said, they weren't working as a team, and they weren't able. There was a lot of times they were getting, like you said, caught out on an island and getting singled out and taken out, and that's really what gave them issues. For a majority of the game.
And you know, even though it wasn't necessarily a disaster, I think sort of the experiment of having Peasy Muffin op outside was a bit of a wasted economy. It would be a gentle way to put it, I guess. I don't know if he fit best outside with an op. I think his rifle is a lot better than whatever his op could potentially provide in terms of controlling outer. And as MG demonstrated, you know, all it took was a really solid coordinated smoke take to sort of isolate his op and, you know, basically devolve it into, alright, Peasy Muffin's at best going to get a 1-for-1 trade and then die if he's got that op in hand. But we saw a couple of really good rounds with him outside, just using the rifle and playing different positions, making them guess. Because there's just, outside, it's pretty wide open for the most part, but if you let the rifle move up as far as it wants, you are then allowing it to play a bunch of awkward angles, and he burned them a couple rounds for it.
Absolutely. So definitely some solid play after that initial op round outside from Peasy Muffin, but all in all, they need to have a more solid half. We're going to see what they can do to turn it around here once we get all 5 or all 10 back in the server. Peasy Muffin with his second disconnect so far.
Well, we'll see if his problem fixes it. But, I mean, on the whole, it could have been a lot worse half for Canadian All-Stars. They were on the knife's edge the entire time, or the razor's edge, rather, in terms of just losing money and losing people in rounds that they really, really couldn't afford to do so. It was really a lot of impressive individual play. But, you know, the teamwork was lacking. We'll see if 9 rounds will be sufficient on T-side, though, as we head into Pistol.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward, hopefully, to see something really creative from Canadian All-Stars right now to try and take this Pistol. Our Mobility Gaming on their T side pistol, excuse me, they had a really good ramp take where they just isolated a couple players and they were just able to take it out. It came down to a 1v1 because of a huge play by Boshi, but I want to see some sort of creativity. They are going to have smoke and flashes on shooter. Everyone else is going to be armored up, so let's see what their plan is, their plan of attack. As it looks like it's going to be a 3 ramp push from Mobility Gaming, so they might run into a brick wall here with their players in lobby. So let's see what ends up happening. He's executing the first kill. PZ trade. Joyboy trying to pick up another one. Sidoff is going to take down Buzza, and now it's going to be a advantage in favor of Mobility Gaming. So a kind of a pinch coming in there and able to take 2 players down and give themselves the advantage and able to fall back. So we'll see how this pans out for the rest of the round, but they lost their player with the nades on them. They can pick those nades up, but we'll see what happens. As they are going to play 1 player on the box, they're not going to find him right off the bat. As here comes the ramp take from Canadian All-Stars. They're going to have 1 player in F. They're going to have a player down ramp as well to deal with. They're not going to get either of them, as Peasy Muffin does get one, actually. I read Davey getting the kill. It was just an assist, but it was a 1-for-1 trade again. And it looks like they're going to try and go for the plant with Boshi holding the vents. And it looks like they are going to get it relatively uncontested, but immediately Sidoff gets them from the control room. And immediately coming in from vents as Davey comes in with the shank, prison style, down the ramp and just stabs him in the gut. And he's going to also go ahead and let Stan take that defuse, as this pistol round is going to go in favor of Mobility Gaming.
Yeah, and it appeared to be a very well-practiced CT strat because, as you saw, Sidoff was completely prepared for a belated upper rush. As Buzza noticed that there's essentially that brick wall moving through ramp, as you described, he thought he would be able to be cheeky and sort of push out the door and grab a free kill, but Sidoff was just sitting on it. So that was one of the more brutal ways to start the T-pistol for Canadian All-Stars. And then later in the round, his tactical decision to call out the guy that was posted up on right under catwalk, toxic side of lower, and just wait until Peasy Muffin got off the plant and moved before he started shooting. It was just a good tactical play to let his teammates rotate and turn a 2v3 into something entirely trivial.
Absolutely, as it is going to be no armor or anything other than just a couple of pistols. His Buzz is already going to go down for our T side. They're going to have one player, two players pressuring. Stanislav is going to fall. Not going to really put any damage down. There goes Peasy Muffin dropping. Troy Boy down to 40 HP. And there goes Shooter going down to Davey as well. And now it's just Boshi and Troy Boy. I almost got their names combined there on accident. They're going to be outside by T-Red. As there goes Troy Boy again, taken out by Davey again. And now it's just going to be that one player, Boshi, with 8 HP. He's going to go down to Zek. And a real basic anti-eco. Nothing really happened for Canadian All-Stars that round.
Right, yeah, they really couldn't find any traction anywhere. But they did get the plant. They are going to elect to do the buy, which, you know, it's just a matter of when do you want to eco. If you want to eco this round, that means you're just postponing gun round one more turn. But if you buy this round and you lose, it doesn't matter. You're still guaranteed one eco anyway. It's just a matter of managing risk, and they're doing the right thing by sort of electing to buy here. But this might be one of the crucial make-or-break rounds here for Canadian All-Stars. If they don't manage to at least get 3 kills here, they could be in a lot of danger.
As it is going to be a ramp push coming in really quick. Davey already picks up 1 kill. 3 players are already into lobby from ramp from Ability Gaming. Shooter is going to get 1. He let one guy run straight through. Zek is able to pick him up though. His teammate was completely flashed. Boshi does trade, so it is 3 versus 3, 2 versus 3, 2 versus 2 now. That epic round of trading right there. Just one after one after one. Those last 2 players are trying to contest lobby as Peasy Muffin kind of flashes himself because they did lose the bomb in there. With that great push from Mobility Gaming, and it's going to be Sit-Off and Zek holding it down in lobby. They're going to have to go up against Peasy Muffin and Buzza, who are going to be working around. One's going to be working around. That's going to be Peasy Muffin. He's going to work around. They're probably going to try and do a little pinch here once Peasy Muffin gets in, and he's going to get taken out by Sit-Off. And now Buzza has everything to do to try and get this round, and it can't be going in his favor. He's had a lot of good rounds, but I don't know if this one's going to go in his favor as well. He's going to pick up the AK, so he has that one-tap capability, but he doesn't have the bomb yet. And he's got 25 seconds to figure out what he's going to do, and he's going to get flashed and taken down by Sit-Off. And now it's going to be a 9-up, and it's going to be another eco coming in from Canadian All-Stars.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the more common tactics, although you don't usually see with a round score like this for CTs, is oftentimes it's expected that they'll just set up and play normal. It's only 2 rounds into the half, they're not up by much anyway. It'd be a gamble to start pushing like crazy, right? But they go for instantaneous lobby control by flooding through hut and through ramp, and it almost worked perfectly to plan, except Canadian All-Stars was able to actually do a lot of damage, get a lot of people killed early on. And to turn it into a 2v2, most teams would have just folded and collapsed. It was almost a nice recovery by Peas Muffin and Buzza there at the end, but it was just a really good overall tactical play by MG to sort of secure that early buy round. And then the subsequent round after that. So with one really good, effective, coordinated push, you turn 1 round into 2, and now you have the lead at 10-9.
And they are going to be going for their second buy of the half. And like you said, they were able to secure that round and then immediately secure the next round. It was almost like Canadian All-Star just wanted to get that round over with. Just barreled out of hut, barreled out of Squeaky, and just got lit up. I don't even think they did any damage, to be honest. If they did, it wasn't real noticeable. They just kind of got wrecked. But they are going to have all rifles, though. And let's see what they can do for their first full gun buy. Like, full guns, full nades, full everything. Let's see what they can do. As they are going to be run into one player on Raptors outside, and Zek holding that Squeaky. As they are going to be in a fight outside, Davey's going to get the first kill, or get dropped, actually, by Buzza. And now it's going to be a work to see what they can do outside. 2 players already downstairs. It's going to be Boshi, and right directly behind him is Buzza holding the flank. His teammates, though, are going to be working towards ramp, so it looks like it's going to be a lower ramp split for our T-sided Canadian All-Stars against the 4 remaining mobility players. We do have Stanislaw holding down lower ramp. He's got his teammate there to support him and help. From that ramp push, Peasy Muffin with a great kill. They're going to run into Stanislaw here shortly. Stanislaw's going to go down to Peasy Muffin again. And this round looks like it's all going to go in the favor of our T-sided team. And there's going to be Peasy Muffin picking up a 3rd headshot on the round. And now it's just going to be Sit-Off with an M4 in upper. And he's got to be saving, or at least waiting for some X's to try and eliminate some guns. Because he's not going to have his way trying to 1v5 right now. Because he is going to find one, that's going to be Peasy Muffin. So Peasy Muffin not going to get the 5th or 4th kill of the round for Sit-Off is going to secure that op and probably try and get out and save. As he is going to find one player outside, that's going to be Boshi. Boshi's going to pick up that kill. And now it's going to be 10 up And Canadian All-Stars showing a little life here on their T side.
Yeah, no, that was a good job by them sort of finding different MG players stuck in isolation. Davey got caught out on railing by 3 members of Canadian All-Stars just peeking together, which is crucial to do when you want to sort of isolate that guy. But again, that you can only get to that point in the round if you've also done a good job of isolating the guy in garage, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to isolate the guy on railing. The late peek by Zek into ramp was also kind of brutal, as Stanislav was waiting behind the smoke. It would have been better if he peeked later and Stanislav would have called a rush and then the peek. But, MG has opted to buy this round, sort of trying to kill any momentum that Canadian All-Stars has built up. It's risky, but I think it's a play they had to make.
Yeah, and it is going to be an outside take again for our Canadian All-Stars, as they're already down. The 3 players are already down. They're going to run the sit-off, but he's immediately going to get traded after picking up 1 kill. So it is going to be 4 versus 4, as here comes the Canadian All-Stars trying to get an event, which is going to be Buzza. The other 2 players trying to take ramp. They're going to run into 1 player down on the ramp. That's going to be the number 5 player, which is going to be Zach. Zach is going to be in hell. The other player is going to be on ramp, which is going to be Stan. Zach caught me confused there by picking up that off kill, but Stan is going to be on ramp. Zach is going to be in hell. Kind of watching that secret play. As Shooter is going to be running up towards Hut, maybe trying to clear something up or trying to make a play. Maybe get their distraction off Bosch. He's able to pick up the kill. Shooter doesn't pick up Strider, hiding behind the second vent. And now it's just going to be Buzza in vents and Boshi, who is going to be over at the back vent as well. So both players are about to be in vents. They are going to have to deal with 1 player out by the side of the vent, as they're going to shoot at the vent. And one's going to go down, that's going to be Boshi, and immediately Strider picks up the second. So walks out, picks up Boshi coming up, and picks up Buzza coming up the other vent. And they just weren't able to get anything going that round.
And most crucially, actually, was not the 2 kills that finished the round off for mobility, but the third from last, honestly, was dropping Shuda as he was sort of sniffing out, trying to find at least 1 CT out of position to try and convince the mobility gaming members that were surviving that potentially would have been an upper take, even though they'd committed to lower much earlier. Strider just being entirely immobile, essentially, in upper, without a good bomb call, without a plant, without a sight take, won them the round. If he decided to rotate, if he decided to get a little too pushy, assuming that it's going to be a lower take because calls are there and Davey just died right outside of event, would have lost in the round. And now we see Canadian All-Stars forced to save.
And Zach's already picked up 2 on the round. He's going for the 3rd, but a beautiful deagle kill by Boshi. His shot has been on tonight. He's going to go down. He's got 23 kills, most in the server. He's just wrecking face. Unfortunately, goes down to Davey. And his teammate Buzz is not going to pick up the kill, so Sidoff is going to able to take down that guy picking for Mini. And it's all going to be on Shuda now. The man of the hour. Let's see what he can do, if he can pick up any eco kills here. And maybe even a gun. I don't know. Maybe he can find something. Maybe he can find Zek's body in garage. But as of right now, he's got 50 seconds to try and figure out what he wants to do. And right now, just with the deagle in hand, it's going to be a real difficult task for him to really find anything right now. He's got players set up all over the place. Davey's just holding garage, just waiting for him. Just like, you better not even think about coming to get this off. And is that exactly what happened? Shooter tries to come get the op, and just like I previously quoted, Davey just shuts him down.
It was really good discipline by Mobility Gaming to not go over aggressively on Nico. Like right there, you just saw 4 members of Mobility not moving from their spots, just waiting for Shuda to sort of play himself into death or to a really, really nice play. We're going to see a buy coming in from Canadian All-Stars, and they're going to sort of have to try and get... I mean, their first gun round that they won was a little bit fortunate that they caught Mobility Gaming members out of position. It was a good tactical play, but on the whole, it was sort of kind of lucky that they caught them where they caught them. We're going to have to see something a little more inspired should they attempt to get a few more rounds cobbled together here on T-side.
I don't know if you guys caught what Davey did in upper on whatever it is, auto director, but he tried to jump up, and Stan is going to pick up the first kill of the round. Buzzer trades Stan though, thinking 4 versus 4, but Davey just cannonballed off of Raptors trying to jump on the Toxic in upper and just took half his health away. Zach picks up 2 kills already. So Zach doing work with the op this half, leaving it all on Bosch. He's got a ton of kills. He's going to get another one for his record, but he's going to be pretty low. He picks up another one before he goes down, and now it's going to be Peasy Muffin with a pistol. He's worked out upper. Can he pick up the kill? He's not going to get it, and it's going to be 13-10. And Mobility starting to run away with this one.
Yeah, I mean, they're just the more coordinated team. They've proved it throughout the game. And running into them on CT side is probably no treat for players on Canadian All-Stars that are probably more comfortable in a free-form style of play. That was really, really, really nice by Zach to get the jumping head buzz as he jumped and as Zek was half blind, just sort of popping him right in the head before you cross secret. Maybe we'll see Davey cannonball or knife someone or something exciting on this eco, but barring something interesting, it's going to be a by the number slaughter.
Oh, well, maybe not so much. Shooter already picked up a kill, making eat your words right there, right off the bat. His standalone law does trade him with a grenade right directly after that. So, you say it once, and then the players immediately go the other way. As Buzza, even more so, is going to pick up Zek, the op. So, they've got the advantage right now. As immediately as I say that, they both go down, losing the advantage. And there goes
words, man.
The power of words, dude. I say they got the advantage, then it's gone. You say that it's going to be a standard anti-eco, and it's not,
I say by the number slaughter, Buzza 2 taps and op in heaven. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. Sometimes. All I know is that alien meme where the guy's like aliens. You just put CS:GO in front of that guy, and that's essentially what just happened in that round. CS:GO. That's what happened. And anyways, we are going to see a full rifle buy from our Canadian All-Stars, and they're going to be going up against an AK, 2 silenced M4s, a regular M4, and an op, as Sidoff falls on the floor, getting shot on his way down, losing almost all his health on his quick overtake. Shooter gets one, but immediate trades from Strider. Bashi and Buzza pick up the kills, putting them in a one-man advantage from the 2 players that are going to be outside, which are going to be Zek and his friend Davey, who's going to be going over towards the heaven ladder. As he's going to get smoked, he's going to fly up, throw a flash that didn't really work in his favor as he clips the top step. He does get out, though. And now he's going to be able to work from there to try on this retake. He's going to take down Troy Boy. He's got a couple more to work with. He's going to see one on site. He's going to get the guy on site, leaving Buzza in a 1v1 against Zek, who does have his pistol out, pushing to the bomb. Can he be able to kill? No, Buzza picks him up in a big round for Canadian All-Stars and a big round for Buzza.
Yeah, you called it perfectly. Buzza did a really good job winning the 1v2 at the end. Even it was just a little bit of misfortune for Canadian All-Stars. A common failure that can happen after you do the post plan on upper is someone goes to smoke out heaven, and it just falls straight through that hole where the ladder is, so you wind up smoking out nothing. It was actually an interesting and obviously, almost effective play by Davey to go, instead of doing a double mini retake, to just be a little bit more patient, sprint the whole way heaven and retake from there, and it turned a 3v2 into a 2v1, but Buzz's individual talent was able to pull through.
And it looks like Shoe's going to go down early. I don't know, was that another upper take? Is they're going to have big trades coming in? Troy Boy picks up 2. It's Troy Boy's round to do something. Troy Boy has already picked up 2, PZ Muffin with another, but Troy Boy is an upper. PZ Muffin's going to go down. 2 versus 2. The bomb is going to be planted by Bashi in upper, so they have planted. He's going to go ahead and take a gander towards that upper heaven area with 1 player working in mini, which is going to be Zek. So Zek and Stan on the retake. Zek once again up in the mini area, and Stan, he is going to be over coming from lobby. He's going to run into Hut here, and he's going to run into 1 player on site, and then Troy Boy's going to pick him up from behind. Troy Boy's going to go down, leaving the 1 player up on site. Zek, he's got 11 bullets. Let's see what he can do. He's going to push around the site, try and get the juke. But buying time is Bashi, and Bashi picks up the kill with 8 HP. And it's going to be 14-12 now. The Canadian All-Stars making a run for this one right now.
Yeah, no, they're putting MG back on their heels, and now you're going to see an eco coming in as they win 2 consecutive gun rounds over there on Canadian. What actually worked out, and I'm not sure if it was by design, but if it was, congrats, it was smart, was essentially a stutter step upper take. You had Buzzer running out of hut and Shooter out of door, fighting guys in sight. They die early, but then they get their 2 teammates to run outdoor late and essentially clean up the next 3 kills and turn it into an instantaneous 3v2. It worked out brilliantly in that it was turned into a 1v1 that Bashi managed to just take a bullet right on the face and still win the round, but, interesting play, it worked out, as an eco is underway.
As it is going to be an eco, and Troy Boy and PZ Muffin getting the first 2 anti-eco frags of this round. Taking down Davey and Stan is lost, so we're going to have 3 more players to deal with. PZ Muffin was taken down to 46 HP, so a little bit of damage done on him. As it is going to be kind of a standard lobby hold from our Canadian All-Stars, as here they come into ramp, trying to take it, trying to figure out what's going on. They are going to run into a player around the corner. Troy Boy's going to go down, but immediately traded by Shooter, so now it is 2 versus 4. And they're going to have Strider come into the lobby. He's going to pick up Buzzer, trying to get out of hut, and he's going to get that AK, and he's going to hightail it into upper. And now 2 versus 3. Sit-off is going to be all the way down by control. He picks up Bashi. He sprays the plant. He's not going to get the kill because there is no one playing the bomb. He went behind the bomb site. And that's going to be Shooter with an AK-47. He's got his teammate, Strider. No, not his teammate, but his enemy Strider is going to be in vent. He's going to come back up into upper. PZ Muffin, though, in vent. Peasy Muffin was real close to finding that one player they needed to find, which was Strider and Vents, but he wasn't able to do it. He does throw the smoke down, and Shooter's going to go for the plant. Sit-off is going to peek, but Peasy Muffin does trade. Strider's going to jump down in the vent. He's going to come through. The plant was moved. He got off the bomb. They are going to get it now in the smoke, and he's going to get taken down by Shooter. So initially they were planning behind that little bomb site thing, and then they were able to move it over to the corner right in the nick of time, as he almost got him in time to stop that plant.
And the highlight of that round was probably Strata and Peas Muffin essentially doing a bit of a Benny Hill routine where you could hear the just comical music of them chasing each other right as they barely see each other through in and out of vents. And it sort of won the round just due to, dumb luck and nice timing. Peas Muffin managing to catch side off right in the side of the face and the plant going off and lower. But it was, on the whole, pretty okay eco coming in from MG. They know if they win this round, they'll be on match point, and money will probably be a bit of an issue for Canadian All-Stars.
And it looks like they're going to do with a little bit of a lobby hold. This is a huge round from the Canadian All-Stars. If they want to make this game a victory for themselves right now, they need to win this round. Because if they don't, they don't have a lot of money. They have one, maybe two players that'll be able to get a lot of gear on them next round, but not a whole lot. As they're going to be trying to work towards ramp. It's going to be Shuda and his teammate over there. Two other teammates. One's going to be Bashi, who has been absolutely destroying MG this game. As here comes the ramp take, they're going to come out and they're going to smoke off that ramp player and rotate towards that connector area, that turnpike. The flash is going to come in. Bashi was able to dodge it, though. As they have taken complete control of ramp, and it looks like they're going to work down into lower. Maybe find that guy. Stanislaw is going to pick up one. He doesn't get the second. Peasy Muffin does trade, so 1-for-1 trade so far. As here comes the take into lower. They're going to have a player in vents to deal with. That's going to be Davey. He's going to pick up one. Peasy Muffin trades him. Buzza gets Davey coming out of vents, and the frags are just coming in with the Canadian All-Stars. The plan is going to go down and lower, and it's going to be all on Zach behind ramp. And he's just going to fall out and say, you know what, I need to save this round for another day. Save this rifle for another day. And possibly just, save it for next round. And it will be another eco with that one rifle for Mobility Gaming. As they're going to be flat broke.
And we're all tied up 28 rounds in, right where we started round one. The score will be 14-14. Again, we're just seeing really nice individual shots coming in here from Canadian All-Stars. It was a nice coordinated take on lower, and MG really wasn't able to contain it. What had worked earlier, as we see that, if I'm not mistaken, they've routed, 4 consecutive rounds here for Canadian All-Stars, is MG sort of was able to catch Canadian All-Stars flat-footed by just sort of brashly pushing into positions that they would not expect them in. And what really sort of started the backward trend of mobility pushes was Stanislaw getting an early pick outside, all the way back 5 rounds ago, or 4 rounds ago. Yeah, no, it'll be 5. Math. And just dying essentially on an island, and then Zek was not able to compensate for his loss. It's been a backwards trend since then. I think we need to see a little bit more aggression coming in from MG because they're not able to hold right now. They're breaking instead of bending everywhere on this map.
Yeah, they are going to be going for broke right now. As 2 kills are already going to go against them. But Strider does get the trip. Strider is going to be that player pushed up at ramp. He's going to have 2 players to contest with. He's going to go down, and it might all be over because they're not going to have any money after this round. Sit-up goes down after trading 1. It's all going to be on Davey in a 3 versus 1. He's going to be an upper. He's going to see one guy in HUD. He's not going to be able to pick up the kill as they're going to be going for the lower take on the Canadian All-Stars team. And Davey is just going to drop down in the vents to see if he can pick up anything. He's going to see the one guy go on the side. He's going to get shot up and taken down, and it's going to be game point for Canadian All-Stars. And Mobility is going to be real low on cash, and they're going to have to force up again and not have a lot of nades to support their effort.
Yeah, and this is pretty impressive coming in from Canadian. They've won the past 5 in a row, and they've just really done exceedingly well in sort of out-shooting more than anything else. Their shots are on, they're connecting, and right now Mobility is just completely at a loss. We're going to see if they can actually pull this one into overtime right now.
Yeah, as it is, it looks like it's going to be a lot of players going towards that lobby. As they already blew up Squeaky trying to get that first quick pick into Squeaky. They're going to see one player outside. That's going to be Bashi. He's going to be seeing that one player out in garage, who is Zek. Zek only has a FAMAS, so he was tagged down to 50 HP. They are going to flash into Squeaky and try and hold off this delayed kind of an upper take. We'll see what the Canadian All-Stars do to try and counter this. It looks like they're going to be trying to work outside. As they are going to be throwing some set smoke down in that 103 time frame and throw some flashes. Here comes the outside push from them. Got 2 players which are going to be PZ Muffin and the number 7 player, which is going to be Shuda. Starting to see a little lag as Davey gets picked up in secret. So now that's going to be a round advantage for the Canadian All-Stars, as it is going to be a ramp take. And Stanislaus going to pick up one, but he does get traded by Troy Boy. Sit off the trade again, though, as the ramp take is on right now. Buzzer trying to pick him up. Immense is going to have another person to deal with, though, peeking from the other side. Troy Boy is going to go down, and there it is. PZ Muffin does get one more, though, so it is 2 versus 1. Zek and Strider, last 2 left up. And it's going to be overtime as Strider picks up the kill. And really well worked out for for Mobility Gaming that round.
I mean, there are enough Canadians in here who are talented at Counter-Strike that maybe everyone in the server is a Canadian All-Star, you know?
Yeah, except for maybe Shuda. I'm not so sure about that last one there.
Ooh.
I'm just playing. Shuda's a great player, and you know, we all have those brain laps sometimes, you know?
Yeah, that was it's a bitter pill to swallow for Canadian All-Stars. That they were right on the cusp of winning. They got the first pick, 5v4. And, really good play by Mobility to sort of bring it back. But that last round, and pretty much the entire match, has been pretty much dominated by the exclusivity of teams just essentially trading punches. Rounds won are run usually by a rather slim margin. It's not really... We've seen very few rounds that are essentially wipes. People are dying a lot. And it's sort of caused... I mean, you're seeing the power of economy in Counter-Strike and right here at play. And this is the reason why we're in overtime right now. It's because you just... sometimes not dying is more important than getting kills. It just really is. And it's on display right now as we're in overtime.
As PZ Muffin was testing the water at Squeaky, I don't know if he wants to be doing that right now, because Zek does have an off. He is over by mini. He wasn't over in big, and that could have been a bad play for him if that op in Zek's hand was over in mini, or not in mini, I'm sorry, over in big garage, because he would have been able to pick him off real easily, as a lot of players for our Canadian All-Stars are going to be kind of towards that ramp area. They have 3 players there, and they're going to molly it off. One player's going to get caught in that. He's going to get burnt down a little bit. I believe that wasn't Shuda. I don't know who that was. He got caught in there, but it wasn't fun for him. It wasn't a fun experience. And getting set on fire never is. I speak from personal experience. We're not going to talk about it, but anyways. It is going to still be all 5 players up. No picks coming in so far. 45 seconds remaining in the round as here comes the ramp take from the Canadian All-Stars. Barreling in. They're going to find Stanislaw on the other side of the smoke as Shuda runs right past him and almost doesn't pick up the kill. Shuda just sprinted in past Stan and he just wasn't able to connect. His PZ Muffin does get one more. And this round looks like it could definitely go in favor of Mobility now. I was about to say Canadian All-Stars, but Mobility fires back with 4 huge frags. And it looks like Boshi doesn't say no yet, but he is down to 36 health. Davey just destroyed him that round. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see where he was to take out all those people. But it is going to be David behind side. He was behind side. That's where he was. He does get taken out by Boshi, but it is going to be 1 versus 1. Zek is going to try and take him out. Try and take that money out maybe. He didn't find him, so Boshi escapes with his life, but Mobility escapes with the round.
Yeah, and right as I was about to comment that it's almost a role reversal on CT where we're just seeing Mobility just die on islands essentially all by themselves. It was, Davey coming through by just playing behind silo and sight, and it's goofy. If you're a terrorist team, you kill 2 people toward the ramp area, you get Strider on rotate, and you drop Stanislaw. You'd expect no one else to be in lower, but Davey managed to sort of outmaneuver them and outthink them. And Sidoff, I believe, was the one in Benson initially helping him out.
And it is going to be a quick upper take from Canadian All-Stars. They got flash as soon as they come out of Squeaky. Davey picks up the first kill of the round. Davey picks up the second. Zek picks up the third. Buzza gets the first trade. 2 different trades as well. Buzza now putting in a 2 versus 1. He is going to tag that one player up in the hut. He's not able to pick up the kill. He's going to have one player with many to work against, or in vents, excuse me. That's going to be Stanislaw. And then Strider is going to be holding upper with the bomb down in front of him. And it looks like Stanislaw is going to find Buzza in the Squeaky room and take him out, and it's going to be 17-15 with the Canadian All-Stars, or in favor of Mobility Gaming, excuse me.
Everything's Canada today. That was actually just Canada everywhere, man. That was actually a flashback in terms of tactical play for Mobility to, I think, the 2nd or 3rd round of their CT half, where they just decided that it's time to sort of get control of lobby and force their will upon the T side as opposed to reacting to whatever the terrorists do. Davey was actually set up for a perfect spray down. He gets the first kill, but decides that he needs to take his suppressor off a little bit early. It didn't cost him. Ultimately, he managed to pick up another kill and mobility secured the round, but it was just a bit of a misplay that could have been absolutely brutal, but they walked away with the round.
They were able to get away with it. As 4 players from Canadian All-Stars are going to be outside, they're going to have 1 player in the ramp area. As they're going to run into Zek holding the cross here, so let's see what Zek can do. He's just going to pick up 1, but 3 players escaped into lower when that happened. As the Canadian All-Stars are going to be pushing in, let's see what they can do. Getting down into the control room area as it looks like Stanislaw still going to be holding ramp. He knows that player's going to be coming, but he isn't able to pick up the kill. And Buzza picks up 1. Can Buzza pick up the other one as his team is flooding into ramp? Or into lower, excuse me. Boshy's going to be going for the plant, and it looks like he's going to get it as that player from Toxic tactically smoked up. And Buzza picks up Zek with the op. Immediately goes down to Davey, though, and then Boshy can't even pick up a kill. He does. He has the 1 player in the Toxic. He's not going to take him out, but Shudo does reply, and Shudo gets the next one as well, and he's going to take that 3rd and final round of overtime, or the first half of overtime for Canadian All-Stars.
Right, for folks at home who want to keep score, if Canadian All-Stars win all 3 of their CT rounds right now, they will win the match. If Mobility can manage to squeak out 2, they will win. Anything else, we're getting more free Counter-Strike.
I love free Counter-Strike.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, I'd rather get it for free than have to pay for it, that's for sure. Anyways. We are waiting for the next round to start. The next half to start. Excuse me. My voice is a little dry. You know. First world problems. I don't have anything to drink right now. Whatever, YOLO. Anyways. What was I going to say? Do you remember what I was going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say.
I think you're going to try and pound as many memes into a sentence as you just did. But
see, how many did I have?
Thankfully,
you got lucky. You got lucky that the round started.
I feel
right
blessed right now.
You were so lucky. I was about to just go on a complete tangent of just memes that people probably haven't even heard of before.
You were just going to go on a tear of unheard memes. I think that's sort of counterintuitive as to what a meme precisely is. That being said, I feel like myself and everyone watching at home is entirely fortunate for that thought just escaping you. And in terms of the play at hand, we're going to actually see Buzza picking up an AWP. Something we didn't see the entirety of the first half, unless I could be horribly mistaken. Someone will point it out if I'm wrong, I'm sure. But yeah, Buzza's going to elect to AWP on CT, and we'll see how this sort of changes the tenor of Canadian All-Stars defense.
He is going to be going up into heaven with that AWP, so let's see what his plan of attack is with it in hand. The Canadian, or the Mobility Gaming side, looks like they're going to be kind of sitting 1 outside, and they're going to be smoking it off for him. The rest of the team is going to be hanging out in the lobby and towards that radio area, trying to, get some communication. As Buzza picking up the op kill right off the bat on Stanislaw, taking him down. As the ramp take is on now for Mobility Gaming. Here they come flooding into the ramp area. They are going to find 1 player, and that's going to be Troy Boy. He's going to find Davies' head. Buzza gets another one on Zek. And now it's going to be up to Sidoff and Strider as their first T-side round right now is not going in their favor. And let's see if they're able to do anything. Maybe get some guns down, lose a little money, or maybe even win the round as Sidoff is down to 19 health. And they're just going to be trying to go into lower, shooting out the vents and trying to take the side. They are going to have 1 player all the way up on top of Toxic, and that's going to be Ruffin. He's going to get both of them. And now it's going to be 17 up in overtime here.
Yeah, I guess Buzz is gonna buzz. I really didn't like that play for Mobility right there. I understand that certain rounds you do, and you occasionally get away with sending 1 player off to sort of scout out half the map. But I really don't like the idea of sending a rifle out in isolation to sort of figure out what outside looks like, because their best action the first half, if they focused on what worked, was sending people in force outside. And I just don't understand necessarily 4 guys lingering lobby while Stanislaw goes and figures out all of life's secrets outside by his lonesome. It cost him an early pick, and then, Canadian All-Stars just did the sensible thing, being up in numbers, and didn't force any issues anywhere else on the map. Troy fell off tactically, and the round sort of just fell into place for them right there.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be taking heed to your word, as they're sitting a lot of people outside this round. Buzz doesn't care, though. He's already going to take down Zek. And they're going to have 1 player mini to deal with, and he's going to get taken down, or that shooter's going to be dropped by Stanislaw. Davey gets Peasy Muffin, and now it's in advantage of Mobility Gaming. And if they win this one, they'll just be 1 away from taking this game home. But let's see what our CT-sided Canadian All-Stars have in reply. I do not believe they have a player in lower, and they don't. They have 2 players in upper, and Troy Boy in hell. So Machi's going to get one in hut, so I'm not really sure what that plan of attack was. Is the bomb is going to be in lower? Fly over wherever the heck he's at. That is going to be Strider. Yeah, he's in lower. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, 100% in lower. Anyways, it is going to be Strider going into secret. Davey picks up one. Not into secret, into the little toxic area. You know what I mean. Buzz is going to come in with a pistol. He's going to pick up another person, and then he's going to have Troy Boy to work with to try in this retake. He's going to have to deal with the crossfire from both of the door sets. And Troy Boy's going to fly, and he's going to pick up the kill, so if they make the best guess that he's probably in that toxic area, which it looks like that's where Troy Boy's not going to look. He's going to pick up on the door. Troy Boy goes for the kill. He's not going to pick it up. Strider takes down both, and it's going to be 18-17 for our Mobility Gaming side, and it's going to be match point again for them, or their first time actually for match point for Mobility Gaming.
Right, yeah, because they actually forced overtime by winning. Yeah, it's kind of fun to say something like, why are they doing this? And they immediately follow up by doing it. It's the reverse of the commentator's curse. Again, they just, outside and force worked out. I feel like Canadian All-Stars are trying a little too hard and getting a little too frag hungry instead of just saying, all right, they have smokes, they're making secret, we're going to, work around it instead of trying to contest the whole way through. Buzzer should have been the only one contesting. He got the first pick. He could have been able to sort of try and, attenuate the flow of people going cross, but they threw two members of CT side straight at it, and it kind of cost them the round. But we're going to see if they can force overtime right here, as MG's electing to do slow play.
And it looks like they're going to have quite a few players. I can't tell. I'm Flash. Anyways, they're going to be coming in with their mini upper split. Bashi and Buzza get two off the bat. Stanislaw does trade Sit-Off, gets another one. Buzza lands the no-scope, and Shuda picks up the other two. So it's going to be a double overtime in this match. And this is some great CS that we're seeing right now.
The match has basically been the one consistency in this entire match is that they're just going to be swinging blows at each other round after round after round. No lead is safe. No streak of rounds is safe. I think the most rounds we saw one consecutively was Canadian All-Stars grabbing 5 in a row on their T side. It's hard. For some reason, momentum has been at a premium in this match, and it's making for some really interesting Counter-Strike.
And it definitely is. And now we're going to see if Canadian All-Stars can carry their momentum over from winning that last round in a very assertive style. Just taking out that upper push from Mobility Game. We'll see if that momentum can carry over for them into the second overtime. As we are going to see 5 rifles in Mobility Gaming's hands and 1 op on the counter-terrorist side in Buzza, who picked it up last overtime just 3 rounds ago, and was able to pick up some crucial frags to allow them to stay in this one. We'll see how it works out as Mobility Gaming is going to be holding them back. They're going to throw some outside smokes. They're going to have their players in Davey and Stanislaw kind of working that outside area. They are going to get flashed. They are going to have one player over in secret, which is going to be Shuda that they're going to have to deal with if they get him slowly. PZ Muffin picks up the first frag, though, on Davey, who was one of the outside takers. But Stanislaw is right in the smoke. He's going to walk in right behind and take out PZ Muffin and Shuda, and picks up a third. Stanislaw is going huge this round, all by himself now. And he's going to take out Buzza, and it's going to all be on Troy Boy and Stanislaw now. It's going to be all by himself. He's got the bomb. He's going to go lower, and he's going to plant. He's going to have Troy Boy to deal with. Troy Boy immediately dropping in vents. Can Troy Boy pick up the kill? He sees him, doesn't pick up the frag. He's going to see him push back out through the door. He's going to see him in the middle of the site. Can Troy Boy pick up the kill? And he's raising down, and no, he's not. And that's going to be an ace. And I believe that was all 5 kills came after his entire team was dead. So that was an ace clutch from Stanislaw. I'm not even sure how to feel about that.
That second half, I don't know. Feel violated, maybe?
That play outside was amazing. Like, him and his teammate pushed through. His teammate died, and he just stopped and stood in the smoke. And then as soon as the player that was outside ran into Mini, he ran through the smoke and shot the 2 people and Mini in the back. It just blew my mind to even, thought of trying to do that. And as it is going to be a ram take from Mobility Gaming, as Troy and Buzza are going to get the first 2 kills. Troy picks up a second after Strata straight, and he's going to go down, though, trying to hold off too many people, but it is going to be Sit-Off down to 15 HP, but the ever-capable Stanislaw is still alive. And they're going to have an opportunity to win this round as long as he...
Clearly unimpressed with Stanislaus' ace.
Yeah, he was not happy about
just,
that.
The Canadian All-Stars just take a round back. My goodness.
This thing is back and forth and back and forth. I love it. This is absolutely a great match, and I'm glad that we're sticking in as we are getting players way up in the frags. Buzza is 2 away from a 40 right now. And then Bashi and Davey are only 5 away, so we might see a couple of 40s in this match if we keep at it the way that we're going right now. As this is going to be the last round of our second overtime in the first half of it. So, yeah, try saying that 5 times, 10 times, multiple times fast. And this looks like it's going to be slow, kind of a smoke, and looks like it's going to be an outside take from MG. And they are going to have an auto sniper to deal with. Who's going to be spamming through the smoke? He hasn't connected with anything yet. That's going to be Peasy Muffin. He has lost 25 health. He is going to get naded over down to 40. He's not going to pick up that guy jumping off. He is down to 40 HP though, and those players aren't going to be crossing the secret. That's going to be 3 of the 4 players outside have already crossed. And there goes the 4th one into lower. So 4 players in the secret, no frag so far on the round, and the only real damage that has been dealt has been Peasy Muffin losing a good majority of his health. And he's down to 40, or basically 40, 39 ticks of health. And they do have the bomb down secret as well, so if they can maybe figure out where some players are, Shuda picks up Davey, and now it's going to be Zach getting a return on Shuda, so let's see what happens now. Peasy Muffin gets one before getting traded. Stanislaus picks up Bashi, and it looks like Zidoff is also going to pick up Troy Boy, and now it's going to be on Buzza hunting for that 40 bomb coming in to try and take this round. If he picks this one up, he'll have a 41. He's going to see one guy behind tight. He's going to tag him up. He's going to pick up the kill. Maybe. No, he's not. Zidoff is going to take him down. And now it is going to be 2019 as Mobility Gaming goes onto the CT side with a 1-round advantage.
1-round advantage means they only need 2 to win. Canadian needs 2 to stay in. 3 to win. Math.
Go ahead and put that aliens meme guy, just put math in front of him. Again, we'll use that one again.
You're running it back.
I'm bringing it back. Throwback Thursdays. That's what just happened. Even though I threw back to earlier in the match. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We're watching some Counter-Strike. We got a great match in front of us. Whatever I say is irrelevant. Anyways, we're going to see one up on our MG team, which is going to be Zek, as always. All rifles on the other side, which is Canadian All-Stars, as they look to try and get 2 rounds here to keep their hopes alive right now. They need 3 to win, but 2 to stay alive. Let's see what they do, as they are going to be throwing a smoke into upper quick, as it is going to be Molotov'd off, and they're going to flash, as the rest of their team, that's only going to be Buzza in Hut trying to make a little bit of noise. The rest of his team is going to be working outside. Counter flash is coming in as they go to try and cross over to Secret. They're not going to run into a player on Raptor. They are going to be barreling down here. And they are going to get naded off. I think that was a friendly nade. I'm not really sure where that came from. The second one at least. As they are going to be completely smoked off and kind of sandwiched now in Secret. And they're going to have to deal with that one player in lower, which is going to be Davey. And he's going to try and find Troy Boy. And he does find that. He is going to get traded though by Shuda. Zach does pick up another one. And Stanislaus is going to take him down, take down Buzza, that one player who was lurking upper, and it's going to be Shuda and Peasy Muffin, last 2 left, trying to claw Canadian All-Stars back into this game. As they do have the bomb down, so they now are on the defense, so they have a chance to defend here, as Shuda isn't able to properly close the door, and it's going to cost him his life, as Zidoff is going to pick him up from behind, and Stanislaus is going to pick up Peasy Muffin, and it is going to be now 21-19, and it's going to be match point for MG with 2 rounds to try and finish this one off.
Yeah, and right there we saw basically the dominant contrast in playstyles there, but the biggest difference between MG and Canadian All-Stars is just how they hold outside. You can basically encapsulate the differences right there. Zek was finally perfectly smoked off, so he could not call cross or command anything, so he just falls off, doesn't contest the cross, lets them go down. Davey's the one who starts the battle, and he's in lower. He gives up secret, because there's nothing that part of the map really buys you, and that's something certain teams elect to do, is that if you can't really get anywhere other than to another bomb site from there. If it's just another route into a bomb site, it doesn't actually give you positioning advantage, you just forfeit it. And it ultimately let Mobility win the round by just sort of containing, bending, not breaking. It's a huge and crucial part of playing CT on any map.
Yeah, and it was very, very smart play, and they were just able to hold him off, and they definitely got him stuck. 4 players stuck down in secret, just sandwiched smoke to players in midi and outside. As it looks like it is going to be a ramp push right now from the terrorist side, Canadian All-Stars, and they're going to be fighting one player at ramp. Davey picks up the first kill, though, on Buzza outside. And they're going to be pushing around, trying to get to Turnpike, as Bashi's going to shoot his teammate, trying to jump down on the ramp. And here comes the lower take. I don't think this one's going to go in favor of the Canadian All-Stars, but Standard's also going to get picked up by Bashi, so now it's going to be down to a 4-on-4. They are going to get the bomb down, so they are going to be contesting one player. It's going to be in Vents. That's going to be Sidoff. He's going to pick up Troy Boy, and it's going to be down to a 2-on-2, and it looks like it's going to be 1-on-2 all on Bashi, and this could be it, and it is indeed going to be it, and it is going to be game, set, match for Mobility Gaming, taking it in double overtime with some great plays, great individual play. And that's going to be all she wrote for this Canadian Super